And these people were uploading a lot of my clips. And I had people coming to me saying, do you want this page taken down? They're infringing your copyright. And I always said, and everyone around me can confirm me on this, I always said no, because then I'm being a hypocrite. And again, to other posts on this page, fine. That is I'm not holding you to that. I'm not.
Okay, so he's saying still he doesn't have a problem with the rest of the Snark. It's just the people on the report Adam to ICE post that he has an issue with. Okay, yeah, if that is his take, then I don't think it really makes sense for Ethan to go, oh, you're reaping what you sow. This rotten little man is never going to be held to account. I don't like Adam, but Visa with R1 is religious activities, and the one he is presenting as R01 is for people with extraordinary abilities. Yeah, bye-bye, Adam. Adam McIntyre is one of the many enemies of H3's Ethan Klein, and Adam has been doing a live tour throughout the US, meeting up with his fans, doing shows for him across the country. And because of this, some of his biggest haters, because Adam has his own Snark page, or he had his own Snark page, they were reaching out to ICE, submitting reports saying that he should be deported. H3 Ethan finds out about this and he posts on his Instagram story, I think this is, and says, Adam McIntyre has been promoting and participating in my Snark for a long time. He gives them literal shoutouts, which I have heard at the very least. Adam said he has respect for what the H3 Snark people do. But to be fair, I've also heard him say that his own Snark and essentially any Snark page has the right to exist because they're essentially doing what he does on his YouTube channel. They're talking drama, talking crap about people. I couldn't find Adam saying anything specifically about the CPS call. I searched a couple things related to it on his channel. I didn't see a video that he did about it, but I would guess that he doesn't support the CPS part of it. Right? He's fine with the other stuff that the Snarkers do, but I wouldn't think he's okay with the CPS stuff. So now that it happened to him, he wants sympathy? Not so funny now, eh, Adam? I'm surprised you even have the nerve to post this after the amount of snarking you've done, literally reaping what you sow. And here's the video that Ethan screenshotted in there.
Hi muckers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing very well. Okay, I'm currently in LA. I'm here with my mom because we are taking a little week in LA before we go back to New York, and I do my final ever show in America on July 11th. We are almost sold out. It is insane. We've sold out VIPs, we've sold out meet and greets, and I think we only have like 20 general admission left. So if you want to come, it's going to be my final show in America before I leave. And then I'm probably just going to move back to Brighton. Honestly, at this stage, it's between Brighton.
Better hurry up. I'm really bummed that I don't live in. I mean, who wouldn't want to go to this guy's live show? He just seems really chill and cool, no?
In Paris, but if I go to Brighton, I get to bring my dogs. We've been having a lot of fun in LA. I don't know if anyone
Okay, wait, is he like? I don't know if I want to keep my dogs or not. Is that what he just said
America
there?
before I leave. And then I'm probably just gonna move back to Brighton. Honestly, at this stage, it's between Brighton and Paris. But if I go to Brighton, I get to bring my dogs. We've been having a lot of fun in LA.
He's talking about where he's gonna move. No, that's what he said. He's gonna move to either Brighton or Paris. But if he moves to Brighton, he can bring his dogs there. So he's just gonna get rid of the dogs if he moves to Paris? That seems like it would be an easy decision. You're not gonna get rid of the dogs, right?
I don't know if anyone saw my post though, but literally like 2 days ago in WeHo, I got mugged and they stole my phone. So I was without a phone for a little bit, hence the silence. But I can confirm that I went out and got a new phone, unfortunately, because even after all the tracking in the world, it turns out that they threw my phone in the bin and it got destroyed. So
Okay. Hey, I get you're not from here, Adam, but while you're in the United States, please respect our culture. It's called the garbage, all right? We don't call it the bin over here.
that wasn't the greatest, but we've been having a time in LA. Now, I want to talk about something that has came to my attention, and I wasn't going to film a video tonight, but I really want to talk about it because I think that there's something that I want to highlight with it. I'm going to be talking about my snark today, okay? So, obviously, like every other creator, I have a snark. There's a snark on me on Reddit, and, you know, they talk about things they don't like or whatever. And I've always been on the wavelength that whenever it comes to snarks, I always feel like I don't want to comment too much on it because You could argue commentary can be snark. You could argue anything could be snark, right? So
Okay, this is more or less what I've heard of Adam's opinion on this. Like, yeah, if I get to do what I do on my YouTube channel, if other people get to do similar things, then people should be able to talk on the Snark subreddits. If he's changed his mind on that and said, no, now everything they do is terrible and they shouldn't be allowed to exist because now I've actually been impacted, then yeah, that'd be very hypocritical and I would see what Ethan is saying. But I would imagine, like I said earlier, that he would have a problem with the calling of CPS, similar to how he has, I'm assuming, a problem with ICE being called on him.
it's like, who am I to dictate that I can talk about people, but people can't, talk about me, right? So I've always held this, and I still do. I think that there can come a part where it goes into territory that is borderline illegal, and something has happened on my snark within the last couple days that I was a little bit silent on and I wasn't considering making a video on because I have launched an investigation into it because it has tread the line now. But basically, my snark have reported me to ICE. Okay? Yes, that is a real sentence I just said. My snark have reported me to ICE, as in ICE in America. Uh-huh.
We got you, man. Repeating it for dramatic effect and the pauses, not necessary. Heard it, yeah, the first time you said it.
And I really want to talk about it. And I've been advised not to talk about it because of what we're doing. But I really want to talk about it because I think it's really important to kind of show that people are now weaponizing ICE in a way that's just like against creators they don't like. Okay? So
Creators, is this a thing that's been happening? I haven't heard about any snarks calling ICE on anybody except Adam.
quick summary, I have been in America since February, on and off. I did shows in London, so I went back to London, and then I was traveling back home to see my dogs, and then I went to Japan. So, I've kind of been in and out of America since February. That was when
Okay, so he has his dogs at somebody else's house, and he's considering moving to Paris and just leaving them to be taken care of by somebody else, whoever's taking care of them now, I'm assuming. I mean, I don't think those are your dogs then, man. Those are somebody else's dogs that you like.
my work visa started. And my work visa expires at the end of July. Hence why I'm doing my New York show, and then I'm practically just packing up and leaving America because my work visa's up. So when I look at my passport right now, I have, and I can see my stamp, I have an O1 work visa. Now, this visa was very difficult to get, and I got it through the tour that I was doing with the tour company I was.
The turd. Turd without the D. I mean, is this is he from Ireland or something? I think that's what it is. Are they all have this same accent? There's quite a few words where he says, it's just like, why? What? Tour.
Working with at the time because we were considering adding extra shows and stuff. So we basically got it from January until August, right? Just to kind of allow if we were going to add extra shows or whatever. And I want to confirm that I paid for my entire work visa and I paid for all of the legal of my work visa, and it was a very long and very expensive process. However, for
Okay. He said that like we're supposed to be proud of him. Like, yeah, who else would have paid for that? You're gonna do a GoFundMe for your visa?
of my work visa, and it was a very long and very expensive process. However, for me to do the Chronically Online tour and do my New York show in a way where I was being fully documenting everything to do with tax, or documenting everything to do with when I was in America, how much money I was making in America, how much I was making the economy, the work visa seemed like the method that I wanted to move forward with. Now, I know that there are a lot of people that will come into America and they will work without a work visa, but that was just not part of my journey because I just didn't want to do anything wrong. And specifically with the time that I was starting the Chronically Online tour, it was when the Trump administration were really taking over. So of course it was a no-brainer that I wanted to make sure that there was, I had all of my proper visas or whatever in case the tour would get canceled, and then it would be my fault for not having the right one, right? It was a long process. It was an expensive process.
I mean, if there was anybody that Trump was gonna keep out of this country, I would hope it was the Adam McIntyres of the world. No? I mean, do we need to go for like the dishwasher illegal immigrants from Mexico? I would rather have a dozen Mexican dishwashers who are here illegally than a single Adam McIntyre who's here legally.
And if you have followed me on social media, I talked about that at length. I was flying back and forth from the Dublin, USA embassy every weekend doing interviews and stuff like that because an O1 work visa is really hard to get. This is it right here. It basically is a visa for extraordinary abilities. And it has a lot to do with like motion picture and everything to do with the arts and the creative field. Now, it is very hard to prove that your extraordinary ability in an O1 visa in general. It's even harder to do that when you are a YouTuber. However, the way with the plentiful of documents that we had to provide to the government, it basically was news articles, the fact that the show's first leg when we had applied for the visa was I think 5 shows, and we sold out 3 of them or maybe 4 of them on first leg. So we were able to show that there was a reason that I was coming into America. So obviously we ended up getting approved.
That seems kind of risky. I I don't know much of anything about the process, but I don't think I mean, I guess it sounds like you had to do it this way in order to get approved for the visa. But so you're gonna sell all those tickets and say that you're doing the tour and then go for the visa? So then if you just didn't get it, you have to refund it and disappoint all your fans? Seems weird.
For the visa. I want to clarify that, right? Now, also, aside from doing YouTube, which you make money doing, which if I'm filming out here, then you're classic, you're working, we had Brooklyn, Chicago, Seattle, Los Angeles, Dallas, Nashville, Philly, Washington, D.C., Boston, Minneapolis, Detroit, but Chicago for a second time, Orlando, Houston, Atlanta, Phoenix, Vegas, San Diego, San Francisco. We had just that on one stretch of work, right? Which we had to provide. And then also my New York show, which is July 11th, which is the last piece of work that I'm doing in America before giving up my work visa. That was my schedule, right?
He's doing his best not so erudite impression there, showing off his armpit.
Now, on my Snark, they posted a photo that I had posted of my visa.
I mean, listen to that. He says they posted a picture of my visa that I posted. Well, bro, obviously, that does not make it okay for people to make false reports to ICE. But why on earth are you posting a picture of your own visa to the internet? I mean, how dumb can you be? This is like the type of guy that he's playing RuneScape. So he goes, "Oh, did you know if you type in your password, Jagex changes it all to stars, and then he just types his password." Like, oh, what the heck? Didn't work. What are you doing, man? You gotta do the tiniest little bit to protect yourself. And one of the ways to do that is not posting your legal documents online for anybody to see.
Showing that I got
Again, that's not to say that it makes what his snark people did okay. It's just like, come on, man. Seems like this could have very easily been avoided.
my Snark, they posted a photo that I had posted of my visa showing that I got the O1 work visa right here, type class O1 work visa, which is this visa that you use. They posted this, and a lot of people were sending it to me, and I had no idea what was wrong here. And then a quick
Let me see. What is this
people were
post?
sending it to me.
Let's go. USA, here I come, baby. See y'all on tour. Opening night in 2 weeks. We are gonna be on tour for 6 months, baby. 7 shows on sale right now, and 14 more on sale next week. And he posts a picture of his visa with that. All right. Seems like maybe you could have posted the dates instead, or just not had a picture, but okay. Oh, also, kissy lips emoji. I forgot that part too.
Me, and I had no idea what was wrong here. And then a quick scroll down shows that these people on my Snark are actively excited about the fact that they are reporting me to the American Immigrant and Customs Enforcement, ICE.
So, Fit Pepper 1366. It looks like they're posting a screenshot that they have successfully submitted a report against Adam McIntyre. Yeah, the only time I won't say screw ICE. So they hate ICE, but they will use their services when it comes to Adam McIntyre.
Literally, we have people on my Snark that are posting the only time I won't say fuck ICE, and they're showing that they are reporting me to ICE. Now, there's a big conversation that's going on here. The first one being that they are saying that I am on a religious work visa because they can't read clearly, and they're seeing the R instead of the O1 visa, which again, the O1 visa, this is, I mean, please, people, we need to read. There is an entire thread on here about how
Well, the thing is, actually, nobody needs to be reading your visa, Adam, because you could just not post it. But yeah, sure. If they're if they're gonna be making reports to ICE, they should be able to read the 50 symbols that are on there.
they are analyzing that I am on an R1 non-immigrant visa that is for religious organizations to perform religious duties. Now, people, we have got to use a little bit of common sense here to know that that is not the visa that I am under. However, there is an entire
This rotten little man is never going to be held to account. I don't like Adam, but visa with R1 is religious activities, and the one he is presenting as R01 is for people with extraordinary abilities. Yeah, bye-bye, Adam.
entire thread where people have spent 11 days
Okay,
dissecting
well,
my
these people are stupid. They're all just believing that this is a religious visa. How does the U.S. Immigration Department define religious work? Is giving gossip shows to minors now a religion? You know, not when you were making these jokes, none of that made you think, oh, maybe it's not a religious visa. Maybe I should just do a little bit of looking into this. No, they're all just one person, I'm sure. The guy who made the original post said, "Oh, religious visa," and everybody just went with that. My goodness, guys, if you're gonna make false reports, at least correctly false report.
visa, incorrectly by the way, implying that I'm here on religious activities, which number one isn't true, but number two has now started this movement where they are all reporting me to ICE. Now, I just want to clarify one thing, which is that ICE are targeting and kidnapping from the Hispanic and Latino communities around America. Okay? And my Snark are choosing to further engage with that organization of ICE, which are kidnapping Americans all around America. They decided to continue supporting ICE by reporting me to ICE. And there's multiple of them on this thread that have admitted that they have put in an application towards ICE.
Well, maybe they were trying to protect the Hispanic people by sending ICE on a wild goose chase after you, Adam, right? Maybe they were doing that in the interest of the Mexicans.
To do something to me. Okay? But again, I want to clarify that these people are supporting the ICE organization that is genuinely just fucking kidnapping from so many different communities around America, specifically targeting the Latino and Hispanic communities. And there's something really troubling to me, right? And again, I've said time and time again that when it comes to Snark, I pretty much will put my hands up and kind of just allow people to do whatever they're doing because, again, I don't want to criticize how people talk about people, even if that is me, because then who am I to judge? Because I talk about people on my YouTube. But I think that there's something truly
That's fair. And in my mind, that is the sort of attitude that Ethan should have about his Snark. I totally get that he wants to pursue anybody that reported him to CPS. But people just talking crap about him, I thought he said that he was suing like the entirety of the Snark and he was gonna release their identities and that sort of thing. I don't know what happened with that. I feel like I would have heard more about it if he had made more of it public, but I could have just missed it. But most of the people on there not reporting him to CPS. So his crusade against those people it's kind of lame, especially given the type of content that Ethan does. It's like, okay, you make fun of and talk about drama about other people on every show that you do. But then when people do it about you on a subreddit that gets a fraction of the viewership and web traffic that the H3 podcast gets, then it's this thing we're all supposed to be outraged about. I, I'm not really down with that. I totally get going after the CPS people the same way would get Adam having his lawyers or whoever look into people calling ICE about him. That makes sense. But as far as Snark in general, especially given what Adam and H3 do, I don't think they should be allowed to have a problem with that. And to Adam's credit, it seems like he doesn't really have a problem with that, but H3 seems to have a serious problem with it.
Truly disgusting about weaponizing ICE against people. I think that there's something so disgusting about that, and I think the audacity to have an entire snark dedicated to how I, Adam McIntyre, am a bad person, while you in your communities are joining forces, supporting ICE, giving them in.
Okay, well, I don't know that it's the whole community. Like, you can go through and see everybody commenting on that post or whatever and agreeing with it. Sure, all those people. I don't know that that's the entirety of the Snark.
Information, first of all, that's incorrect, but just further supporting ICE. And now, again, I've talked about this on my YouTube before, and I will always talk about it on my Instagram, and I just think it's important to continue talking about what is happening in America right now. And also, just being fully transparent with you, it has been a risk for me to be talking about ICE, to be talking about Palestine, while I have been here on a work visa. Because yes, I could have immediately gotten my visa, taken off me, and that is something that can happen. Because we are seeing people be denied visas, even if they're going through routes of trying to get a visa into United States.
Roots? They say roots over there? That's a little bit Midwest. That's how people say it in Minnesota, where I'm from. Roots underneath the roof.
Visas, even if they're going through routes of trying to get a visa into United States, we are seeing that they are being denied whenever the officials or government are looking through their social medias or looking through their phones. And we literally saw a couple days ago a tourist was denied entry to the States because he had a JD Vance bald meme on his phone. So yes, while I
mean, is that true? I've not heard anything about that, but that seems ridiculous. How do they not have to have like a good reason to justify denying access? Like, do they write harmful meme on one of the lines there?
bald meme on his phone. So yes, while I have been speaking out about ICE and the deportations and also everything that was going on and is still going on with the genocide in Palestine, I always knew that there was a risk. I always knew that there was a risk. And I knew that that could have meant that the tour could have been canceled. My New York show could have been canceled. I knew that that could have gotten me arrested. I knew that that could have gotten me banned from America. This is not a wild scenario. This is actually what's going on right now, okay? But still, I chose that it was more important for me to speak out about things that I truly believe in. And morally, I just had to, right? And I will continue to for as long as I am.
And thank goodness for that. We really need more drama YouTubers and just celebrities in general sharing their political opinions. It's very valuable stuff.
Still in America, which at this stage, I literally, my visa's almost up. So I'm leaving after my New York show anyways. Now, while I knew that there was that risk there, I never, ever, ever once thought that it would be people within the YouTube community that would be the ones trying to report me doing that. That's what's troubling to me. But again, I cannot stress enough. If you support ICE, fuck you. Whether you're on my snark, a different snark, whether you're in my comment section, a different comment section, whether you tweet me, whether you comment on my YouTube, whether you engage with me in some way. Number one, if you support ICE, you are truly not someone that I ever want to deal with. I think you're evil. I think you're incredibly backwards, and I think you're inhumane, if I'm being quite honest. And I don't know if there's a way to look at what's going on right now and not feel that way. But number two,
That's great. That's how you feel about it. Can we get back to like your situation specifically? I'm I understand. I got the impression very quickly that you don't like ICE. My goodness. Then he has to list 7 places where you might exist on the internet and to like or not like ICE. Very helpful. Great. Thank you for that. Can you get back to your stuff?
I don't know if there's a way to look at what's going on right now and not feel that way. But number two, the fact that there are communities online, which again, I also want to clarify that it was not that long ago that I was in meetings with managers who brought up snarks to me and said, oh, we worked with XYZ creator and we were easily able to get snarks taken down for harassment, terms of service, and also copyright if they upload your things. And I have always said, please don't do anything because I don't want to be a hypocrite. I remember specifically during the Colleen of it all a couple years ago, that was when it was at its peak. And these people were uploading a lot of my clips. And I had people coming to me saying, do you want this page taken down? They're infringing your copyright. And I always said, and everyone around me can confirm me on this, I always said no, because then I'm being a hypocrite. And again, to other posts on this page, fine. That is I'm not holding you to that. I'm not.
Okay, so he's saying still he doesn't have a problem with the rest of the snark. It's just the people on the report Adam to ICE post that he has an issue with. Okay, yeah, if that is his take, then I don't think it really makes sense for Ethan to go, oh, you're reaping what you sow. Well, unless Adam has said that he's for CPS being called on Ethan. Again, I couldn't find him talking about it. So unless Adam has said that he's for CPS being called on Ethan, then I don't see how this is reaping what you sow, right? Adam says, yeah, if you want to talk crap, you want to talk drama, whatever, any of that stuff on Reddit or wherever else, that's fair game. That's more or less what I do. But once you start involving government departments and trying to get people deported or their kids taken away, then it's an issue. Which seems like Adam's take is pretty fair here.
Not holding you to that at all. But the fact that there is an entire conversation that's been going on for almost 2 weeks now where people are gleefully, incorrectly by the way, reporting me to ICE. Again, ICE that is tearing and breaking families apart, is kidnapping people just on the street. But yet, people hate me so much that they're incorrectly, by the way, reading my visa, when they should be reading over here, by the way, and see that it's an actual visa that is a work visa, that's a temporary work visa, by the way. The fact that they're doing that and gleefully dissecting, saying, well, why is he here on a religious visa? Which I'm not. And then they're questioning the United States Immigration Department. Then they're saying that they're emailing and reaching out to the United States government for clarification on what visa that I'm on, because I need to be kicked out of America. So they're still going. They're like, there's a full conversation going on, right? And also, I was the one that posted that photo of my visa. So the fact that they're also acting like there was something that was leaked, I posted that to show that I finally got the O1 visa because...
Are they acting like it was leaked? I didn't notice any comments where they're like, oh, that was nice job, hackers. We got a hold of his secret government forms. Right? Not that that's really relevant. Really, it just blows my mind that you would post that. Why? You can just say that you got the visa and the tour's on for sure. Excuse me, the tour is on for sure now. I I don't understand why on earth you would post your visa. That's so bizarre.
again, it took...
And again, not that that makes any of this okay. It's just really stupid. Like, take some basic steps to protect yourself from this sort of stuff.
I posted that to show that I finally got the O1 visa because, again, it took a goddamn long time and a lot of money. If I'm being completely honest with you, the work visa, I'm pretty sure, cost me like $12,000 because we applied for it after the shows were announced, so we had to speed that process up. And again, all of my money, all of my legal fees, I was the one that chose to do the work visa. I'm the one that paid for the work visa myself. And let me tell
I don't know why he's saying this like we're supposed to be proud of him. Oh, good job, sweetie. You did the steps that you're supposed to do. Why don't you put it on a fridge and we'll post it to your Twitter for everybody to see? It's strange. Okay.
one that chose to do the work visa. I'm the one that paid for the work visa myself. And let me tell you something. It was genuinely about 11 or 12,000 for the speeding up the process and all of the legal fees. So that is a whole other conversation.
And also, why were we supposed to? Okay, you had to pay extra because you chose to plan and announce the tour before getting the legal documents that you needed. Okay, big whoop.
Right? But these people are genuinely so ignorant that, first of all, I love this. They're not even asking Google. They're asking ChatGPT. They're asking ChatGPT.
Chat, what?
They're asking ChatGPT. They're asking ChatGPT. I think that really sums
Yeah, no, he said GBT both of those times. That's what it sounded like, at least. Maybe that's how they talk where he's from. I don't know. I would think they have the letter P over there, but maybe not.
up these people, right? We're not even Googling at this stage. We're using ChatGPT. Amazing. I asked Chat,
Okay, he said it again. GBT.
right? We're not even Googling at this stage. We're using ChatGPT. Amazing. I asked ChatGPT so many questions.
Okay, that time he might have said it right. I'm not like rewind's not that important, but
We need you to go back to school. We need you to go back to school. So they're saying, does Homie know if he's religious or not? Because they're
skull of fish. I don't know why this accent in particular bothers me, but it does.
we need you to go back to school. So they're saying, does Homie know if he's religious or not? Because
They sent Ethan two skulls.
they're saying, hasn't he spoken in the past about not being religious? I'm not on a religious work fees. I don't even know if that's a thing. So
Whoa. Sounded like he was about to tear up a little bit there.
religious work fees. I don't even know if that's a thing. So they are dissecting sponsors and how it would work if the tour company sponsored me. They're saying, how does it work with me paying my taxes? They're saying work outside of the US. I really, really, really don't understand this. And again, we have these people
Any good ones here? An unskilled worker, such as a YouTuber, it might be difficult to work in the US with a proper visa, which is why I think X1 Entertainment got a bit creative with the whole process and just got any visa for him. Perhaps this unsuited visa was the reason why he has to abruptly leave the US? This guy will end up in jail one day for not paying taxes. Whoever advises him has pointed him in the wrong direction. Everything he touches is slimy. What is his obsession with the US? He comes a few times a year to beg other content creators to work with him, dumps a ton of money here, leaves, complains, comes back. I think, actually, I think it was the other way around. One of the previous dramas I've done about this guy was when Ethan said that Adam was like creeping on his mom, trying to get her to go out to lunch with him or something like that. But then he calls up his mom or they get the messages and it turns out she reached out to him first. So I don't know. Maybe he is doing that as well. And it's not just Ethan's mom asking Adam to go out to lunch. I have no idea how taxes are paid in the US with a visa that is unsuitable to work there. Plus, just having events in the US just cannot be done as a non-citizen. When I worked in the US as a European, I paid the most taxes, meaning for my EU country and the US. In the end, Adam will cash out his events most likely just fine. However, him coming back to the US are now that quarantined. Quarantined? Using an R1 visa for work equals to fraud. Even all people from the EU has to have a solid sponsorship and reasons to work in the US. R1 visa seems to be equal to fraud. Okay, so this person seems particularly dumb because they're saying that they did work in the US as a European, but they just are going with the fact that this is a religious visa. US immigrations has always been tough, even for us Europeans. His R1 scam might give him extreme troubles to re enter the US ever again. And while I think the US immigration for us EU citizens is a bit comical, I think outright scams, like what Adam seems to have done, might mean he is a persona non grata for the US for the rest of his life. So scamming immigration is quite serious in any country. Yeah, none of that at any point in time made you think, are we sure this is a religious visa? Do we really think Adam's so dumb that he's going to get the wrong type of visa and then just proudly post that on his Twitter or whatever that was? Like, obviously, these people don't think all that much of Adam, but that would be astoundingly dumb.
Yes. I really, really, really don't understand this. And again, we have
I want to see if
side
this
of the
one asks.
US. I really
Yeah, it's difficult unless you have a significant entertainment background or skill like being a doctor. Your employer has to pay. I wonder if the IRS appreciates losing the tax revenue too. So they're just assuming that he's not going to pay taxes, even though he got the visa based off of the fact that he was doing shows here. I suppose they probably didn't know that he told them all about his tour in order to get the visa. But I don't know why they're assuming he wouldn't be paying taxes.
really, really don't understand
I was thinking the same. And there's the guy that
this. And
reported.
again,
Okay.
we have these people dissecting the eligibility, the removal process, the in admission. These people are now trying to work together to get my visa removed, get me banned from the United States, maybe get me relocated to a different country and make it so that I can never get a visa again because I false claimed. And then they're going on talking about me, about the possibility of there being a deportation process for me, a detection process if they started going through all my database checks, interviews, site visits, because they read my visa wrong. Okay? And again, cannot clarify enough. These people on my Snark are gleefully supporting ICE and are contributing to the growing of ICE by giving them information, wrong or not. And I want people to know the reason that I'm making this video specifically is I have said that in the past about I kind of have this approach where I put my hands up when it comes to Snark because I don't want to be seen as a hypocrite. A lot of people have been sending me this from my own community and being like, Adam, you need to say something about this because your name is attached to this Snark, right? And I believe it now. Like, I see it. I want to make a statement here. If anyone ever goes over to the AdamMcIntyre Snark, I want you to know that I do not stand behind people supporting ICE. I do not stand behind people in...
Are there really people who are aware of snarks but have no understanding of them? They really think these pages that do nothing but talk crap about the people their page is named after are affiliated with the person that they're talking about? Like, oh, Adam McIntyre must have started up AdamMcIntyre's Snark for a place where his haters could talk about him, or his anti-fans could talk about him. Are there really people that think that? I don't think anybody thinks people are associated with their snark pages. Maybe at some point in time they did, but I feel like it's a pretty well established thing. If you follow any of this sort of stuff, you understand that a snark page has nothing to do with the creator other than it's a bunch of people who don't like the creator made a place to go and talk about them.
Behind people supporting ICE. I do not stand behind people in any ways calling for people to be deported, to be detained, to be arrested, to be relocated. I think these people are sick for this, the ones that are doing this. I think it is incredibly dangerous. And again, I just want everyone to know that I've been very outspoken about how against ICE I am. And whenever this is now attached with my name, even more so I need to double down. I'm not the one that gets affected
I don't believe it, Adam. I think you called ICE on yourself. I'm not convinced by this. You need to say that you don't like ICE a couple more times before I'll even consider believing that you didn't report yourself to ICE.
By this. And I don't know if the people that are doing this know that. I am not the target of ICE. But the more that you try to make me the target of ICE, the more you support ICE kidnapping and deporting from the Hispanic, the Latino community. And when do you call it as too much? When are you crossing a line? And again, I do just want to clarify now that for people that have been posting on my Snark about reporting me to ICE or whatever like that, we literally have documented everything, and we have been over the last 11 days. We've also really gone through some other things that have been highly illegal that have been posted on here. We've compiled them, and honestly, Snark is one thing for me. Again, I'm not a hypocrite here. I know that people online have said I support Snark and all like this. My place is, who am I to say whether it exists or not, right? Okay? I've referenced it. I've read from it. Please, I still stand by that. But what I'm saying is, when you cross a line that is illegal, things need to be done about it. And unfortunately,
Yeah, as long as this is the same standard that he has with Ethan's CPS, I don't understand. Or I still understand Ethan's point. I just completely disagree with it. Like the guy saying, yeah, Snark should be able to gossip and talk crap all that they want. They shouldn't be allowed to get the government involved. That's unhinged. That's clearly too far. But Ethan makes it out as if Adam is completely in support of CPS being called on him, which I don't know. If I saw a clip where Adam supported that, then it's okay, he's a massive hypocrite or whatever. He has no ground to stand on at that point. But I haven't seen that. And I would think if Ethan had that, he would have posted that.
I am having to do that now. So again, for clarification, if anyone comes across this page and thinks that there's any endorsement from me at all, I do not support ICE at all, point blank, period. I'm getting so red because I'm so pissed off. Okay, this was not the video that I was going to film, but it was important for me to. I will see you all later. And again, if you see this attached with my name, I do not support ICE in any way, shape, or form.
You please say that at least 13 more times before you end the video. Do you or do you not support ICE? I'm still not sure about this, Adam.
I'll say it now while I'm still on my work visa, and I've said it whenever I first got my work visa. There are risks with saying that, but at what stage do you prioritize your morals and other human beings more than snarking? Okay. I'm going to go film some other videos. Again, this is not the one I wanted to film today, but I think it was incredibly important because people were aligning me with this. And this has nothing to do with me. This has nothing to do with me. I do not run this page.
Where were those people? I'm down to read some dumb. Who actually thinks that Adam is related with his own Snark page?
I'm not a moderator on this page. I don't comment on this page, but I've been seeing it. And so, anyways, I will talk to you all later. I hope you're all doing very well, and goodbye.
Okay, so there you go. That's Adam's video about it, and I think that's a pretty fair take. As long as he hasn't said he supports CPS being called on Ethan, seems like he's still saying, yeah, Snark is okay in general. Everything else that they're doing on that page when they're talking drama, talking crap, that's perfectly fine. It's just when they start getting legal processes involved, then I have a problem. But you see here, if you try to go to r/AdamMcIntyreSnark, you can't anymore. It is banned. This community was banned for being unmoderated. You agree that use of this site constitutes acceptance of Reddit's user agreement and acknowledge our privacy policy. And here they're posting about that in the H3H3 production subreddit. AdamMcIntyreSnark has been banned, yet Ethan's is fine. I was coming to see if anyone posted this. Like, WTF, why isn't Ethan's Snark getting canned when everyone else seems to have no trouble? This was so fast. Because the twit in charge of banning subs at Reddit is a snarker themselves. They call CPS to take away his kids, they send human skulls to him in the mail, they get sued in a slam dunk case of copyright infringement occurring on that sub, and nothing. Don't give me that crap about it being a different sub either. A third grader can suss out that it's the same people on r/leftovers H3 and H3 Snark, Neither has been banned anyway. I cannot wait until Ethan gets those messages sent during discovery. Losing their job and the jobs of their coworkers is going to be the least of their worries. Wait, why would their coworkers lose their jobs? So it sounds like Ethan is still going on with the lawsuit. Just I haven't heard any updates from him really about that. Correct. In my opinion, like Twitch, they agree with hating on Ethan. I actually like that leftover subreddit appears to just be food that got dropped. Don't forget the original Ethan Snark is still up. It's just the mods ran away to hide from legal action and disabled posting. It never got banned. Okay, well, I mean, if posting is disabled, is that not effectively the same thing? It seems like that has the end result that you would want up until it is re-enabled. Snark literally tried to deport Love. Like, WTF is going on? I think Love is one of the crew members for H3, and they're from, I want to say Sweden. I can't remember. I think I saw comments about it somewhere else, but they also tried to get that crew member, Love, of H3H3 deported. I'm so with Ethan on one of the Snark mods being a Reddit admin. The whole company is rotting from within. The only reason I'm on this stupid app is to keep up with H3. It's clear as day. Rules for thee, but not for me. Ethan doesn't deserve this. So on the H3 Snarks, do they actually have posts of people saying that they submitted claims to CPS? 'Cause I would think that's what the determining factor is with something like this. On AdamMcIntyre's, he showed posts where the one person, let me see if I can find that. I think it was at like 8 minutes, where the person was saying that they had posted, yeah, this person right here, they had posted or submitted a report against Adam to ICE. Okay, what are you doing here, YouTube?
I.
Okay. Fit Pepper 1366. Yeah, they actually submitted a report and they posted about it here. I would think that's what makes the difference. And if they had that on the H3 subreddits with CPS, then yeah, it's completely ridiculous that they don't get the sub taken down, but Adams does. But I don't know that I've seen any posts like that. I've seen posts where people say, "Oh, CPS needs to be called" and that sort of thing. But I didn't see people saying they had actually submitted a report. I'm repeatedly bashing my head against my desk. Why won't they ban even one of the many H3 Snark subs? Because a snark of somebody Reddit admin hates too is fine. That's the only logical reasoning. I swear to God, Hassan is so clearly friends with some Reddit workers. He is super close to Twitch workers, so no wonder he is never getting banned. Yet all Hassan's Snark accounts get taken down, but not Ethan's? I mean, I don't know. Maybe Hassan is friends with people at Reddit. I don't know. I would need a little bit more to see that. Obviously, with Twitch, that makes more sense. Yeah, Dan Clancy singing happy birthday to him and stuff like that. I believe that a snarker is a high up at Reddit more and more every day. My personal conspiracy theory, a stretch for sure, is someone is butthurt about Ethan coming for Dan Clancy since all these companies intermingle and are close to each other. I don't think you need to think that deeply about it. I grew up /live/work in the San Francisco Bay Area, and it's not a stretch to think the admins just so happen to be radical leftists with bias. I love the culture of the Bay, but we do have a lot of extremist types. That's fair, you are probably right. Maybe just Hassan stands. Somewhat high up at Reddit must be a snarker. This is seriously insane. Okay, so a lot of people think that. Banned for being unmoderated. In Reddit's eyes, you are going to need several moderators coordinating the snark attack campaign Sun Tzu style against someone in order to keep your subreddit. To be fair, H3 Snark and Leftovers H3 have incredibly organized moderators in a sad, unemployed way. And this is what I've heard, is that they are very active moderators on these H3 Snark pages. So I think that was what it said, right? The community was banned for being unmoderated. So maybe that is really what it was. It's like, these are things you clearly should have moderated and you didn't. But maybe that's not the case with the H3 Snarks. I don't know. I don't know all the details. Ethan's thoughts on Adam Snark subreddit being banned. Our Snark has been reporting our Swedish crew member to ICE. Oh wait, I think this is what I saw earlier. That's Love that they're talking about, I'm pretty sure. Our Snark has been reporting our Swedish crew member to ICE for the past 2 years out in the open, unapologetically, right on Reddit. The admins are aware. They not only refuse to moderate the posts, they deny reports. They provide feedback to the moderators on how to stay compliant. We have one of the largest community subreddits on the entire site. We have never heard from an admin. Okay, so are they posts from people saying they actually reported Love or whoever it is to immigration and nothing's happening? Then that seems a little bit ridiculous that H3's Snark wouldn't get banned, but Adams does. But maybe even if they are, they're getting moderated, and that is enough for Reddit. If they're claiming it's the fact that Adams was unmoderated, that's the issue. Maybe if the mods had taken down the post from, what was that guy's name again? Fit Pepper 1366. Maybe if that comment had been moderated, they would have been fine. Reddit's silence means something. They're Snarkers. This is so weird. Equally weird as Dan Clancy's boner for Hassan. And then here's just another post. Is this even worth? I think we probably got enough of an idea of what these people are saying. Rip these from YouTube drama. Absolutely insane. Seems like this is going to become a common thing. Report people to CPS, FBI, and now ICE. And whoever Snark was reporting love to, immigration, just because you don't like them. The only time I won't say screw ICE is crazy. AdamSnark must be stupider than H3's, because at least H3 Snark can deny they made the CPS call because there isn't proof. AdamSnark posted it. Okay, so this person says that there's no proof that CPS was called by anybody on the Snark subreddit. So I would think that's the difference. You can't say that you're getting CPS or ICE and involved on any subreddit. And if you do, it has to be moderated, or you could lose the whole subreddit. And this is an H3 fan that's saying they have plausible deniability for H3 Snark's situation. And yet he loves H3 Snark. Can't have your cake and eat it too, buddy. Maybe he can finally open his eyes and realize how awful Snark subreddits are. Yeah, see, this I don't agree with at all. Seems like, based off the video, having watched the whole thing now, Adam's only issue is with the people reporting him to ICE. He doesn't have a problem with anybody else that's on that Snark subreddit. So I think it's perfectly fair for him to say that he likes or respects or whatever it was the H3 Snark. Well, they're just snarking. Well, they're just gossiping and talking drama. But have a problem with CPS being called or ICE being called. I don't think that's really a double standard or having his cake and eating it too. He's fine with the gossip. He's not okay with getting the government involved in any case. It seems like. Again, I don't know for sure what Adam said about CPS being called on Ethan. And if he's a hypocrite on that, then fair enough. Then these people have more of an argument. Weaponizing a government entity you want to abolish is crazy work, though. We didn't do that. I didn't even know he had a snark before today. Okay, Big Guthix, how dumb are you? Why do you think he's talking about you? Okay, yeah, that just seems dumb. And then the person even replied, "No, I wasn't talking about you, bro. I believe Snark is a reliable source, and Ethan is trying to silence them. Adam, 6 months ago. Didn't this guy literally shout out H3 Snark and say that they're fighting the good fight? I don't have any sympathy for him whatsoever, because even though what happened to him was absolutely bad, this is the same person who got in bed with H3 Snark and greenlighted their entire mission. Okay, where is him greenlighting the entire mission? Where is he greenlighting the CPS stuff? Because that's the only thing Adam said he has a problem with, is ICE getting involved. It's really horrible and all that, and wouldn't wish it on anyone, even this scumbag. But he literally got in bed with Snark, and now he's reaping what he sowed, IMO. So is it bad? Absolutely. Do I feel bad for him? Not at all. And so these people all pretty much have the same take as Ethan. Live by the Snark, die by the Snark. Leopard ate my face moment. Totally effed. No love lost for Adam McIntyre here. As much of a snake as he is, that's unacceptable behavior that takes the conflict offline. Hope this community will condemn this behavior and Adam will rethink his take on how awesome H3 Snark is. I doubt he will even process the irony, but nonetheless, let's show them H3 fans are above celebrating dangerous and aggressive IRL tactics. Okay. This is probably one of the more fair comments here. I condemn this behavior, but part of me enjoys this schadenfreude. Thank you. I'm pretty concerned people feel like just because he's been really crappy to H3, he deserves to be reported to an agency that just built an internment camp in under 2 weeks and has been blackbagging random people. That's wildly effed up, and literally no one deserves that. Waiting to learn how Adam is going to blame Ela. Okay, I'm not sure what that's referencing. Snark was insinuating they were going to have Love deported while Adam was still 10 toes down, yes, queening them. So here, this person's saying insinuating. So that no, I'm assuming then they don't actually have screenshots of anybody saying, I reported Love to immigration. That really is the key difference here. I got one more here. This is the YouTube drama one. AdamMcIntyreSnark subreddit reported him to ICE. So pretty much everything we read from H3 people. But these are just YouTube drama people, which are H-Bomber guy people, really. Locking the comments on this, our stance on this sub is no Snark subs are more correct than others. There is a lot of fighting in the sub saying this is justified because he participated in certain spaces. We live in America where ICE is a genuine threat to anyone of immigrant descent or has immigrant status. No one deserves a false ICE report, even for their past. Screw ICE. Be better, guys. That's from Mod. The only time I won't say screw ICE equals actually I can use the SS to get rid of someone I don't like. And ICE won't even punish the false report because there's a 50-50 chance they just ship them off somewhere to fill the quota anyway. This isn't something to mess with. Dude, those losers who reported Adam to ICE are literally the same people who screamed witch at women they didn't like. I get not liking someone or Adam, but people are literally begging or being sent off into camps. Like, that's so effed. I think what F's with me the most is how they said, this is the one time I won't say screw ICE. Like, how performative of a person do you have to be? Like, oh, usually I'm against ICE doing heinous stuff in general, but because it's against a YouTuber I don't like, my morals go out the door. There's videos online of ICE doing the most unhinged stuff, and it's all okay because a YouTuber you don't like is going to get his comeuppance because you use the ICE reporting system. Wait, she still has fans? What? Shocked me too. I watched his first video, went to the sub, was absolutely baffled, and went to read the rules, and one of them is no bashing the Ballingers, and it all made sense. So you're not allowed to bash people who like Colleen Ballinger, or you weren't allowed to in AdamMcIntyre's Snark. That is a pretty wild rule. But that just pretty much proves to you exactly who the people are there in that subreddit. They're all the people who sided with Colleen Ballinger when that whole drama blew up. And I think Adam was like the most notable person that had been involved with Colleen Ballinger. He's pretty young, so I think it was while he was underage, and just the weird stuff that went on there. But that's the sub for the people who are still on Colleen Ballinger's team. All right. Pretty sure that sub is also filled with fans from another certain community that we are not allowed to talk about here. They love to hang around people who have inappropriate relationships with minors, don't they? Now, I forgot they couldn't be named in the sub, but that community was making similar comments when another certain streamer got detained by TSA, so it tracks. Is that referencing Hassan there? I'm assuming. It blows my mind that Colleen Ballinger still has fans, but I'm entirely unsurprised that they're weird little edgelord fascists. What kind of effed up moral compass do you have to try and ruin the life of a grooming victim and also be like, screw ICE? You don't get to have moral outrage if you're doing this, morons. People bootlicking ICE over some weird internet stuff is so gross to me. The only time I won't say F ICE, bro needs therapy. Damn, he's serving in his passport photo? Okay. That just reminded you, nobody is commenting on the fact that he posted his visa. No, nobody has any thoughts about that? I think that's in here, right? Is that not one of them? Yeah, here. Okay, I guess it doesn't actually show that Adam posted this. We know that that he did from watching the video. So I would think there should be at least a couple people critiquing that. Again, does not justify the AdamMcIntyre Snark doing what they did, but still unbelievably dumb that you would post your own visa. Yeah, we'll just go back to what H3's take on this was. AdamMcIntyre has been promoting and participating in my snark for a long time. He gives them literal shoutouts. So now that it happened to him, he wants sympathy? Not so funny now, eh, Adam? I'm surprised you even have the nerve to post this after the amount of snarking you've done. Literally reaping what you sow. Yeah. So I would really need to see Adam saying that he condones CPS being called on Ethan, which I would be shocked if he said that. But if he did, I mean, then sure, then Ethan's completely right here. But I really would be surprised if Adam said that, because you have people who really hate Ethan, like people like the quartering and stuff, who said no, calling CPS, that's ridiculous, that's way too far. You pretty much everybody was in agreement there that calling CPS was too much. It united a lot of YouTubers that usually hate Ethan. So I would be surprised if Adam said, "Oh yeah, calling CPS, that's base, that's funny." Or Adam just says snarkers should be able to gossip and talk crap as much as they want, and he still stands by that. He says anybody else who was on the AdamMcIntyre Snark who wasn't reporting me to ICE, that's fine. You should be allowed to keep doing what you're doing. It's only the people who made posts about reporting me to ICE that we're pursuing at all. Those are the only people that he has a problem with. And I think that's pretty fair. Assuming that he didn't say anything about CPS being okay. And I would think if Ethan had that, he would have posted that. But it doesn't seem like he did. So yeah, I think Ethan's mostly just wrong on this. And it's just like he seems to be getting a kick out of the fact that this happened to Adam, but we're supposed to feel bad that CPS was called on him. Like, well, if you want anybody to feel bad for the CPS stuff happening to you, then you should just be saying this is not okay. Not saying, oh, you're reaping what you sow. Especially because it doesn't seem like he is. But I'm sure everybody's just going to fully get on board and agree with Ethan on this, because that seems to be what everybody's doing lately. It's just whatever Ethan said, oh yeah, let's do that.